Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome to No Man's Sky, a game that came out yesterday, and I have kind of read this morning, had one of the biggest launches in Steam history last night. This has had a huge amount of sales, as is only natural from the amount of hype it's got, and yet, well, as you can probably see, we're getting a few stutters there. A few stutters there in the background, yeah. This game has a couple of issues with more than a couple, to be honest. Right, let's dive in and I'll show you what I mean. Planet Wajamineo Tigai Euclid Galaxy. Lovely. And are we actually playing? Yes, we're actually playing. Am I on the same planet as I was? You see, I started this game yesterday to see if it actually ran on my system at all, because a lot of people said that it was literally unplayable. They were like getting like 10 FPS. I think this is a different planet. You see, I had to restart. Now, you can't actually restart this game. There's no restart mechanism. So if you do want to restart, oh dear. Yep, frame rate, you okay? Yeah, you're fine, aren't you? You're fine. So yes, the only way you can actually restart the game is you've got to turn off the cloud sync on Steam and then find the particular subfolder it's storing your save data and delete that. There is literally no other way to actually restart the game. And probably the first thing you should notice, by the way, is, well, okay, the first thing you'll, bloody hell, especially if you're currently watching on 720p or above, unless you're getting the 60 frames per second, because I'm recording this at 60 frames a second. The game sure as hell isn't at 60 frames a second, though. This game constantly stutters, and I'm having a really good experience, by the way. Like, loads of people are having a way worse experience than me. So the frame rate's a problem. Secondly, hang on, let me just prove something to you before we go any further. So I've put my textures up to high, and I've set anti-aliasing as high as I can get it. But despite all that, it's not particularly an attractive game, to be honest. Just like little spurts of grass just sticking out of the ground and wiggling around. The ground texture is, I mean, it looks pretty low res to me. To be honest, it's not particularly visually impressive. I mean, to me, I look at this, I think this looks worse than Fallout 3 does on PC. And Fallout 3 is, what, a decade old at this point? Yeah, it's not a very attractive game. You'll see jaggies a fair bit of the time. You'll see kind of textures that aren't that impressive. Anyway, let's get into the actual game here, which is our ship has crash landed. We didn't actually see that bit, but I promise it did happen. You can hop in your ship anytime you want, and that actually tops up your environmental hazard, which is quite useful. And the game is now saying stuff you need to make. You need to make carite sheets. Carite sheets to fix your ship. You've got to get off this planet. The game's obviously kind of divided into two bits. There's the planety bit and the space bit, and it's teaching us about the planety bit first. So let's just ransack the starting area first. So we've got ourselves a cannon damage sigma something. Operate automatically once constructed. Photon cannon fires at increased rate. Marvellous. I'm sure that's good, whatever that is. So we've got what we can get out of our crash site. Now we need some other stuff. In particular, like, the first thing you need to do is, like, fix up your exosuit and the things on that. The multi-tool. That's kind of the important bit. So right now, our scanner doesn't work, and I need carbon to fix my scanner. The scanner's pretty bloody important because the scanner kind of flags other important elements to you. There's also the analysis visor. I need a tiny bit of iron for that to do any analysis. That's fine. Basically, it's like a little rule. Anything that looks like it's alive is going to be producing carbon, so I can just break down this here mushroom. You see it's got a little health bar there next to the carbon there. Just let my kind of mining laser cool down for a second, and when it actually explodes, you get loads of it. Fine, that's absolutely loads of carbon right there. So straight away, I can repair my scanner. Lovely. So now I've got a scanny tool, which is very, very useful, and that means now I can do a little scanny pulse, and I can just kind of see where stuff is. The game kind of highlights important. Okay, this is a sentinel. Sentinels are basically the space police, and they just basically wander around making sure you don't do any of the things that you are actually going to be wanting to do. Like, I don't know, at some point a group of, like, environmentalists conquered the galaxy, and now their robots just wander around and murder anyone who has the sheer audacity to, like, break open a rock to get some iron out of it or something. Speaking of which, I'm afraid we're going to be needing this to get ourselves some iron. So just break down this rock. Mining beam kind of heats up on the You see the mining beam kind of heats up and overheats on the top right. I really hope you enjoy, by the way, kind of hitting things with a mining laser, watching the mining laser overheat, and then waiting for it to cool down, because that kind of happens a lot in the early game. Now, we just got some extra iron there, which should be enough to, yes indeed, repair the analysis visor. Perfect. Now, you'll also notice that as we kind of cut things down, the mining beam, as well as kind of overheating, its percentage is also going down. In all fairness, actually quite quickly. Let's just let it cool down for a second. There we go. Destroy all of that. So now I've got kind of plenty of iron, and just check there's no bloody sentinels. No, we're good. Let's just find a small thing to murder, just a small giant mushroom. Get some carbon out of that, because you don't just need minerals to repair things and build new things. You need a kind of a constant supply of minerals to... No, I want to be a friend. Look, that mushroom, like, it murdered my parents. That was justifiable revenge, alright? Good. Excellent. I think he's wandered off. Nice. As a general, these guys, like, they turn hostile if they see you doing bad things. But, like, the problem is they're very easy to kill even with the basic mining laser. So, they're not really, like, a problem. They're just an inconvenience. They just slow the game down. Meanwhile, yeah, my toxic protection is falling and my mining laser is down to 35%. So yeah, the mining laser, as well as needing to constantly cool down, also needs to be constantly topped up with minerals. So if I want to charge this, I've got to use either plutonium or carbon. Basically, any of the stuff that's got a red background as far as I can tell. So we just top that up, and that's just eaten a large part of my carbon, but now that's up to 100%. But that's not the only thing that needs to be kept topped up, of course. So your hazard protection, i.e. against the environment, can be topped up with either zinc, titanium, or shielding things. Though admittedly, you can just literally pop inside your ship for like 2 minutes to get that back up. So I thoroughly recommend just doing that. Actually, it doesn't need to be your ship. It can be like literally anything that's like got a sealed environment. So if you just kind of like find a bunker with a door, you can step inside there for a moment when you're out and about, and that works 100% fine. So that gets that back up, so that's good. Life support, however, doesn't. Life support also needs to be topped up with carbon. So basically you need to be just constantly killing living things just to keep yourself from dying and to keep your mining beam going on. Carbon's literally everywhere because living things are literally everywhere because there's plants all over the shop. So again with the flipping, there we go. So carbon's everywhere. So it doesn't really act as a challenge. It just slows you down. It's just a survival mechanism that just slows you down quite annoyingly. And next up we need to do a couple of multi-tool kind of upgrades. In particular, oh no, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. I'm fine. Alright, go away. So, I can build myself a proper gun if I can get myself some plutonium, or indeed I can make myself a better mining laser if I can get myself some titanium. Titanium, like, well, all of this stuff you can find around, but I find it easiest to get titanium by actually murdering sentinels, so I might kind of kill some of them. I'm pretty sure I saw some, yes! So, jump down there, and there we are. Ooh, gold. Gold, I think, is just valuable. I'm not sure it does anything. I haven't really found anything gold does yet. There's plutonium. You need plutonium to power your ship. And luckily it kind of goes down pretty quickly, which is nice. And then, oh, there's a big bit of plutonium. This is good. Yeah, the first planet I spawned on when I was just testing this game, like, I was miles from the... Uh-oh. I think he just saw me doing some plutonium. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Use the jetpack to get away. Get away. It wasn't me. The plutonium was already mined when I got here. And then just more iron. Now, you'll probably notice that the game, basically, its resource gathering is... It kind of boils down to one very simple thing. Which is, it boils down to shooting things with a laser and then just kind of waiting for the thing to break so you get a great big dump of the stuff. Because there's no point doing that gathering because it only got me like 10 iron right there. But when you finish it off, you suddenly get like another 60 or something. So, no. I hate sentinels. Why are sentinels in this game? They're just annoying. I'm just going to go over here because that bastard Sentinel's just following me around. Because I swear, Sentinels basically, as far as I can tell, just exist in this game to annoy you and stop you having fun. That's all they do. They just follow you around, making sure you're not making progress fast enough. Because they don't pose any threats in front. I might just kill that one for titanium in a second. But all he basically does is make sure that you don't mine efficiently. Like, if he sees me mining now, he will have a bit of a fix. He doesn't like the fact that this here iron has just gone away. So now I basically have to move on or fight him. I don't want to fight him just yet. Oh, by the way, cliffs kind of work like cliffs in Mass Effect 1, which is, yeah, you can basically just walk up very, very sheer cliffs and then make up the rest of the way with your jetpack. Good, my inventory's full. This happens a lot. There's a lot of inventory management in this game. So, over here in my exosuit, you've only got a few slots. That is... Oh, that's just something I picked out of the box. It's fine. You can tap Y at any time. Even if you're like miles from your ship, just tap Y and it moves over to your ship's inventory. This game is full of just things that are just slowing you down, delaying you, sentinels, the dual inventory system, your mining laser overheating. Like, why would it even bother overheating? Like, it just, like, no game should ever have overheating, alright? It worked in Mass Effect 1 because it happened very, very rarely, and there were common abilities that let you kind of avoid overheating whenever you wanted to. Blimey heck. Right, just keep going. More and more iron. We just need iron, and to be honest, like, you can do the first stage of what you need to gather, like, right outside your base, probably, if you're lucky. So, I've now got an absolute ton of iron. That's what I need. So, using that iron, I can now craft the carrot sheets. That's fine. So that I can now transfer back to my ship. Fine. Keep crafting that. I need to produce a few more of them. With 50, I can produce loads of these. Fine. Send that back. And craft one more of them. There we go. And then send that back to the ship as well. I think those actually fill up like... Yeah, those fill up a slot each. Those are very, very kind of intensive. Now, let's go into the ship here. Because I could do with topping up my environment protection. And indeed now I can do some repairs while I'm in the ship. So, in the starship, I can now repair my launch thrusters using the carrot sheets. Yes, repair that, please. Lovely. Now it needs power to function using plutonium. That's fine. I happen to have picked up a bunch of that already. So just shove some energy in there. Lovely. So now the launch thrusters are all ready to go. However, that is in fact not good enough. We need to do more yet. We need to get the pulse engine going on. So, okay, 2 more carrot sheets. Fine, let's do that before I forget about it. Okay, that's the carrot sheets. Now I need to find 20 zinc and 200 iridium. Alright? Zinc and iridium. Got it. And with the plutonium and iron I have left over, I can now make myself a bolt caster, so I've actually got a decent gun. I can't, however, make my mining beam better because I need some titanium. But I've got a plan for that titanium. Let's just hop out of here. Now I can swap between mining laser and bolt caster. Very, very nice. Hello. Yep, sentinel drone, and now we just use the bolt caster on this guy. Lovely. How much titanium did I just get up? Titanium times 30. Perfect. Now I just run out of here, alright? Just go. I don't want to pick a fight with anything other than that guy. I just want to go. As long as you, like, run and don't get spotted this way. And then just use the jetpack. Good. Now they're looking for me. So now I just need to basically avoid them for a bit. And the Sentinel Force has been deactivated. Good, they've gone back to sleep. They've given up trying to find me. And now it doesn't matter if other ones spot me. Good. Because I got 30 titanium out of that guy, I can now build myself a better mining beam. So mining beam laser is strengthened to speed up terrain destruction. Marvellous. Speaking of which, let's recharge the mining beam, because of course that's getting low, because it's constantly getting low, because everything's getting low in this game, because you're just constantly being bothered to upgrade and update and all sorts of... Oh, there was a lovely little shutter there, beautiful. Oh, and again. Now, let's do a big pulsey thing and figure out what's going on. I've apparently got to a journey milestone. Yeah? And what's the milestone? I've destroyed a sentinel. That was a couple of minutes back, and I have my full screen back now, please. Thank you. So what the game does, and this actually happened the first time I played as well, was now it spawns the second thing you need over there, which is iridium. The problem is, as you can see there, it says arrive in 708. That is actually the game's estimate for how long it's going to take me to walk over there. It's basically saying if you want to go over there, you're going to need to walk for 7 minutes in this direction. And the first time I saw that, I assumed I was misunderstanding or it was a joke or something, but no. No, it's not. The game just genuinely is expecting you to walk for that long in this direction. Now, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if there was, like, interesting stuff en route, but this game has a real problem with producing enough interesting stuff for you to do en route. So, okay, we've got the scanner now, in all fairness. Let's scan this little guy. Oh, assuming it doesn't stutter. Here we are. We're analysing whatever this is, and that is an Urshoit. Alright, lovely. So, whatever one of them is, that's an Urshoit. No, that's clearly not what I was scanning. I wanted to scan this guy. Alright, no, scan the animal. Scan the animal, not the plant he was standing next to, alright? Scan this bastard. There we are. No, in fact, he was a Turbitic Frenenium or something. Lovely. So we've got these creatures here, and obviously we can rename them and upload them, or just upload them as they are, and that just gets you some money, basically. Okay, here we go. Let's see if my jetpack can make it across this gap. Yes, it can, because there's a couple of things here. These are language stones or something. They teach you knowledge. Let's interact with that. I have learned the Korvax word for rare. Well, all my troubles truly now are solved. See, I just need to walk for another 6 minutes in this direction and just sort of hope the game happens coincidentally to spawn something. Oh, you're a bit bigger. Hello, what are you? What's one of you? There we are. A Jicapum Tokalula. Yes. Oh, I accidentally fired on him. That's fine. Let's see if he's actually hostile or not. Apparently he's a little bit annoyed at me. That's 100% fine. Right, and then is he actually coming to get me right now? No, he's just going to glitch for a mushroom and then sort of run around in circles. And he's dead. And he just contains iron. Intriguing. Right, let's just be out of here before the Sentinels come along and decide to wreck my stuff because I had the sheer audacity to hunt animals while on a planet. Now, what have we got here? We've got a mysterious thing here. Ah, a camp. Lovely. Yes, the game does generate these kind of sometimes, which is quite nice. They're probably the most interesting thing in the entire game, in fact. Over here, we have got ourselves some platinum. Nice. Platinum kind of does. I think you mainly kind of for producing stuff you can sell to us. I haven't really found much of a practical use for platinum, at least in the early game. But then again, my only experience is the early game. Let's go to this camp and see what's going on here. The Zowel Marsh. Beautiful. Right, and now we can save at this marsh because this thing is basically a save point. Let's do that. I mean, I'm mainly hopeful that I might be able to step inside this thing to recharge my... This looks good. Hang on, go inside, go inside. Now this is this counting as inside? Yes, that means now I get my kind of toxicity, whatever thing up without having to bother spending carbon. Lovely. Hello, what's one of you? Exosuit upgrade. I totally want to do that. And that gives me an extra slot. Yes, I will totally accept this. Do I not need to spend any money for it or anything? Apparently not. It's just a thing. Create new tech to upgrade your equipment. What could I potentially do? Users able to run for extended periods? Oh, that would help speed things up, I'm gonna be honest. And there is apparently a mystery thing 2 minutes in this direction. That's okay. Oh, stay away from the Sentinel. He doesn't like the fact I murdered the baby creature. Bloody Space Green Party. Alright, whole bunch of good plants. What's this? Okay, so this is just a plant that produces zinc. Zinc is quite useful. That was actually all the zinc I needed from that there plant. Nice. Yeah, if you find plants, you don't need to break them. You can just harvest them. And that means the Sentinels are all fine with you, which is very, very welcome indeed. The Sentinels only get annoyed if you're actually breaking stuff. Hello. There's a massive thing up there. What even is that? Copper. Copper if I wanted copper. So you can just kind of blow this kind of floating copper. What I do like, by the way, this is actually a good thing, is you can actually, like, if you, like, you're cutting the exact bit you're aiming at. So you want to kind of, like, you know, cut a donut hole in things. You can, which is nice. Oh, and apparently my suit's toxicity whatever is really, really low right now. Right, that means I need to... Hang on, there's a thing right here. Just run for this thing. Run for this. It's going to be fine. Get in here. Yeah, let me in. And that will fix up my toxicity. Nice. You know, there's a bit of an odd thing in this game, which is they make a big deal about how you're, like, discovering things, but you're clearly not discovering things, because, like, you're repeatedly, like, finding camps of other people, yet you kind of constantly claim, oh, I just discovered this, and I'm going to rename it and upload it to Galactic Database. Look, someone was already here, alright? You can't just upload it to the Galactic Database. Somebody was already here and blatantly already did that. They set up their own bloody research station here and everything. Right, new technology has been discovered, an even better mining beam, but I'm going to need even more Iridium for that. That's fine. So yeah, upgrades you kind of find as you go along. That's okay. So now at this point, everything should be fine. My health's kind of ticking along back. Everything's as it should be. Let's check this other room as well. Anything good in here? Let's just charge my life support using this here carbon. Nice. And then step away from the giant mushroom because the Sentinels are going to mine, because the Sentinels always mine, because the Sentinels are dicks. Ooh, that thing over there. Hang on. That pillar could be roughly what I'm looking for. Big blue pillar. Come on. Come on, please tell me that's just a massive Iridium pillar. Because, yes, Iridium. This is the best news. I've accidentally come across some Iridium. Loads of it, too. So, toxic protection has already kind of fallen, like, you know, to 75%. So, a quarter of my toxic protection is gone. And I've literally walked here from the camp, which is over there. That's how far I've walked, and at this point, my toxic protection, like 25% of it is gone. So that kind of gives you an idea for like how fast in the early game things go down. So I've got the zinc I need, the carrots I need, the iridium I need, repair that, and then that needs to be charged with thamium. Got it, of course it does. I need to collect thamium 9 in order to make that thing work. Alright, fine, I'll redeem the unredeemed item game if you'll just leave me alone. There, I've redeemed a ship that's now slightly glowy golden. Lovely. And the difference between these is the inventory is a slightly different shape, and it gives me... Okay, one more. It gives me one more. Yes, I will transfer... Oh, no, okay, transfer items before accepting. Alright, fine. Oh, hang on a flipping minute. You better be kidding. So... the starship that the game is giving me, my kind of bonus content that I can redeem, is basically the launch thrusters are at 0%. So the plutonium that I've shoved in my old ship does not automatically transfer over, so that was just wasted plutonium. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? I just learned the Korvax word for Korvax there. It's kind of like learning the Cornish word for Cornish. The Cornish word for Cornish is Kernow, by the way, just so you know. That is useful. And apparently, I think this is... the game is implying this is a new camp I haven't been before. Isn't this the same camp I was at a second ago? I think it is, but the game just said I discovered it. I've no clue. So my new starship needs charging with more plutonium. Perfect. So that's now recharged, damn it. But this thing also needs repairing, because even though I've just replaced my starship, the new starship, by sheer coincidence, has the exact same technical faults as the last one. And I still need the bloody thamium. Also, I'd just like to point out that this here, look very, very closely at the spelling. This is aluminium, alright? Aluminium, not aluminum, the fake element that doesn't exist, alright? Because the element's called aluminium. Aluminum is just a commonly accepted North American variant. The element is aluminium. Okay, try this test. Go to the Wikipedia page for aluminum, because there's no such thing. It redirects you to the aluminium page, because aluminium is an element. I will say I do appreciate the fact I can now sprint for much longer. That was a good upgrade to get early. Now, what's one of these things? So, like, when the game highlights things, it generally means, hey, this is good. Ooh, iridium. I'm just going to take some extra of this, because obviously, you know, I needed it to get off the ground in the first place, so I might well be needing more of it. Okay, the mystery thing was yet another camp, which appears to be basically functionally identical to the last one, with the exact same building, but I'm certain it's not the same, because this time there's only one building, not two, so I know this is not the same one as last time. Oh, Thamium 9 comes off these plants. Right, this here, yeah, this red thing, these red plants, they were producing Thamium 9, which is what I needed to fix my pulse engines. Right, it just came out of plants. Got it. So right now, I am... how close to my ship? I'm 1.5 minutes from my ship, and there is this massive pillar of iridium right here. And when I was at my ship and, like, the game was saying, hey, you should go find some iridium, the iridium it indicated was 8 minutes over in that direction when there was a massive pillar of iridium right here, which is basically... that's basically just the game trolling you, to be honest. Right, what's this big lad up here, by the way? That is copper. Do I need copper? I don't know. I'm going to take some extra copper just in case. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this a happier planet than it was when I came. I'm going to create a happy face. Just blast through there. Okay, it's more of a horrifying skull than I was going for, but alright, it'll do. Yeah, by sheer coincidence, I happen to get really, really lucky on this spawn, which is the Thamium 9 plants and plutonium and flipping iridium, like literally just like a minute's walk from my starship, but the game said, hey, go and check over the massive iridium deposit 8 minutes walk away anyway, because the game is a jerk. There we are, another new species. See, the problem with the species is there's kind of no point to them, because they don't really seem to like be part of an ecosystem or anything. They just seem to like bumble around. Like, some of them will attack you, but don't seem that dangerous, to be honest. They're just generated at random parts, so this is just like a dinosaur thing with wellies on and a bit of a... you even attacking me? No. You just kind of freaked out for a second and then ran in that direction. Well, that's just lovely. You see, to this game's credit, you can find everything everywhere. You don't have to go where it tells you, and the reason it doesn't give you big quest markers is because, like, if you go anywhere, you'll be able to find anything sooner or later. You'll just find a big kind of pillar of Iridium or whatever, and then hopefully we can make this here gap with the jetpack. Yes, we most certainly can. So, here's, I'm guessing this is actually Iridium right here. Yep, indeed, this was Iridium just on the other side of, where's my ship? My ship is 47 seconds in that direction. So there was like tons of Iridium and Plutonium right here. So everything I needed I could have got without kind of going more than a few meters from the ship. But like, the downside of everything being everywhere is it means there's not really any point in exploring, because, like, there's a good chance that everything you need might just spawn nearby. I have travelled 7,500 U's, whatever a U is exactly. So, yeah, and it also means things aren't logically, intuitively laid out. Like, there's no point, like, exploring deep in a cave or something, because there's no real chance anything rare's going to be there, because everything you need's just going to potentially spawn on the surface anyway. There doesn't seem to be any reason to go around and explore. And if you do explore, you don't find much, but just like some camps, just a random block containing everything that you might need, all of that good stuff. There isn't enough here. It's all a bit just random, and I'm about to fall into a canyon. Lucky I've got this here jetpack then, isn't it? Yeah, it's all just a bit random, and that kind of makes it, to me at least, feel very unrewarding. Because you may as well just kind of bumble around in the local area until you happen to find what you need, because there doesn't seem to be any advantage to going any further afield than that. So anyway, let's actually get in our ship, fix it, and take off in that case, because now we can do the space bit. I've never done this before. This was beyond what I got to in my first little test. So now, do I need to fix the ship? I thought I needed to fix the ship. Oh, I could charge it more, but I don't really need to. So that's now fully charged. Lovely. My ship's literally full up, so I kind of need to go and find somewhere to sell some of this stuff, to be honest. Let's also recharge life support with some carbon. Nice. So, how do we take off here? Hold RT to take off. Right, take off them. There we are. Launch thrusters are at 75%. And then, oh, hang on. Just a second. I need to change the controls. Invert the flight controls, please. Thank you. There we go. That's... Oh, the game doesn't like this. The game does not like this at all. So, leave the planet, flying the starship into space, hold LT to accelerate, fly using the left stick. Fine. So now, I can just bumble around if I want to. On the planet of the slight fuzziness and the low frame rate. Yeah, I've heard about this. What is that fuzziness at the bottom of the screen? It's horrible, and it's all over the place. I think it's just trying to cover up the fact that it's just loading stuff. But the draw distance is not as bad as the PS4 footage we saw before launch, but it is pretty bad, and it kind of takes away from the exploration. Let's speed up a little bit here, but not too much to be... Giant rock just comes out of nowhere. They would never believe it if I called my insurance company. Oh, the game just stopped for a second there. They would never believe it if I called my insurers about that. Lovely. Yeah, the wibbly effect just to kind of try and disguise, hey, by the way, we're about to flipping load in something massive. So, of course, I've got weapons on my ship, obviously. Lovely. Obviously, just like all other weapons in this game, they're going to have flipping... Oh, yeah, of course. They overheat, and, of course, they need to be topped up, too, with a constant kind of selection of new minerals as well, because, of course, they bloody do. Right, let's just see if we can just land here for the sake of landing and investigating whatever this thing is, because this looks like an area I didn't actually go to previously. Yes, let's land here. Land in roughly this area. And down we come. You just tap a button, it happens by itself, which is a bit disappointing. I wouldn't have minded, getting to do it. I've literally just slammed my ship into the dirt now. Well done, me. Yeah, may as well kind of stop off here while I'm passing by, see if there's anything good here. Like, these places, like the buildings, seem to be a good source of, like, upgrades and, like, new inventory slots and stuff. So you probably kind of want to just go over all of them just in case. Yeah, here we are. So we've got Analyze Multi-Tool Tech. So now I've got Range Boost Signa. The scanner's detection range is increased with a bit more thamium. Got it. So that there is a really good thing to have got. But I will say it's incredibly disappointing that I've been to, like, what, 3 or 4 camps on this same planet, and all of them are identical, pretty much. Like, the exact same little kind of buildings, the same little thing here that kind of points you towards whatever it is you want to see if you're looking for something in particular. Kind of very similar architecture. in general, it's just a bit kind of... It's very Mass Effect 1. Like how in Mass Effect 1, like if you found a building out in the middle of nowhere, it would always be the warehouse or the bunker. That was basically, when you're on a planet, those were the only two things that you could really ever find. So, yeah, it's a little disappointing that there actually seems to be even less variety in No Man's Sky. Like, exploring is less exciting when you can be fairly confident that once you've seen one thing on a planet, you're going to see the same thing over and over and over forever. And at this point, I need to literally start throwing things away because I can't actually... Well, okay, fine. You know what? We'll... Wait, get rid of the Heridium because I want to actually... I need an inventory spot clear just to see what's in here. Oh, it was a Gek charm. See, that's kind of annoying. You see, you can't actually see what's in a container until you've cleared out the space for it. So I had to throw away that Heridium permanently just to actually open up the space to get the Gek charm. So that's a bit of a waste. You know what? Maybe we should leave the planet like the game says. Like, there's this whole thing in the title about, like, it not being my sky or something. Well, I'm going to prove that title wrong right now. And launch thruster at, 50%. So, the launch thruster, which eats plutonium, uses 25% of its total every time you take off. So the game... If you use your weapons, you need to find more materials to keep them topped up. If you take off, you need to find more materials to keep it topped up. Like, everything in this game is constantly just sucking up minerals. And, like, it actively makes me less interested in kind of exploring. Like, I would land all over the shop and just explore, but I can't be bothered. It just means I'm going to need to go and hunt more and more plutonium, which isn't hard. It's bloody everywhere. It's just, you know, inconvenient. Anyway, we should probably fly into space. Up into space we go. Through the clouds, and this would probably have had more impact if it weren't already night, so I see no effective change whatsoever. And there's some ships floating around. Hello. Oh, I assume we've entered space. Nice. We are now in the system of... I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Right, so that's just a rock, right? Yeah, there we are. Oh, nice. Just destroy the space rock. Maybe I'll go over to the photon cannon. That seems to go down a little bit more slowly. Okay, I really hope these guys want to trade, by the way. Because I kind of want to trade right now. Hold B to engage boost. Okay, that seems reasonable. Okay, now we're going faster. And then to engage... I don't want to do a pulse jump, I don't think. I just want to flipping go over here a bit faster. Also, the game is really, really certain that I desperately want to go check out that monolith. I promise you I don't. I want to go to this here space station. Whatever one of them is, because I really need to sell some stuff. And 3... Oh. Even flipping travelling at boost speed, it's going to take me 3 minutes to get to this space station. Can I do a pulse jump to get a little bit further forward? Yes, engage pulse jump. Alright, well now I'm going to get there in 2 seconds. How do I get out of the pulse jump? Okay, good. I'm glad it automatically went off there. Right. Well, that was good. And now there's some people floating around. Hello. This is a space station, apparently. And it's... Wait a minute. Is this a giant sentinel? Because it looks kind of like a bloody giant sentinel. And if it is it going to destroy me because I shot a baby animal on the surface of a planet? Right, in we go. I'm no longer in control. The game is docking itself. And in we come. Lovely. My beautiful little golden X-Wing has made it here. The game is playing some really dramatic music for the fact that I literally just parked, by the way. Hello! Would you like to be friends? Would you like to be trading friends? Oh, I like your ship way better. Can I have your ship? That ship is so much better than mine. Mine's a bit like natty. Yours is really kind of cool and bulky. I like the fact it looks a bit like it's a space helicopter. So his starship is indeed vastly superior to mine. Unfortunately, he would want 5.3 million units for it. And I only have 100,000 because I'm just a space scrub. Hello. Devices. Interact with the Rubik's Cube. My health has now been maximised by the Rubik's Cube. Beautiful. Interact with this device. My health has been maximised by the hologram. Space is weird. Hello. Oh, this is totally just a flipping sentinel base, isn't it? Yes, hello. I totally didn't stab that baby bear in the face. Oh, I see. What I was selling before was only out of my exosuit inventory. You need to manually change over to your starship inventory to sell from that. That's so weird. Alright, you know what? I'm going to sell all of the gold. Yeah, sell the gold. That's fine. Don't know what it does yet. Sell the platinum too. That seems to be pretty well valuable, and I haven't really seen anything it does yet, and doesn't seem to even be that uncommon, really. Let's head down to a different planet, see if I can, like, find a warp cell or, like, some of the components for that somewhere else. Because, like, that was our first planet. Right, take off. There we go. Do I still have to... Oh, I think if you're taking off from a space station, it doesn't actually suck up, like, loads of materials or whatever. So that's the planet that I already went to. And then we got... What have we got down here? A moon of a thing. So I went here, and then there's this other planet. Wait, hang on. Is that... Does this planet have a moon, and then its moon has a moon? Yeah, you know what? Let's go to the really, really tiny moon of a moon. That sounds fun. Let's go over to... Yeah, let's go over to here. So arrive in indefinite. Arrive in 3 minutes, or possibly, or if I boost, that goes down to arrive in 20 seconds. You know, I'm not going to bother wasting my pulse engine if I'm going to arrive in... Oh, I thought that was 16 seconds. That's 16 minutes. I've decided I am going to waste my pulse engine. And forward we go, and it's still going to take a minute. I would have had a sense that the universe was big if I'd had to activate a pulse engine and it had taken me, say, 15 seconds to get there. I don't know if me having to just sit here perfectly still to get to a moon I like the look of for like a full minute really does anything other than just being a wait timer. And, like, you know, we slag mobile games off for wait timers all the time, but this game is full of wait timers and annoyances and small delays, whether it be sentinels or topping up your toxicity resistance or topping up your mining laser or shuffling your inventory around or just waiting to get to a planet. 2, 1, and probably... Yep, there we are. The pulse engine automatically comes offline. Planetary interference. In we come. In we come. Brand new world. The frame rate goes nuts. Everything goes wibbly, shakety, wibbly. Because, of course, it does. And I think I've found a much more green and vibrant world. Here we go. Now, I just need to find a nice place to land, and we can slow it right down right now. Okay, we slow it right down. Let's find ourselves oh, the frame rate doesn't like it. This looks nice. What's one of these? Yeah, this is a decent starting point. There's some water down there and everything. Head over here and land, yeah, somewhere around here. This'll do. Initiating landing sequence. Down we go. And we are on a new planet. And I've parked in the shade so the cab won't be really hot later. This planet is... I quite like this planet. I like the big bridge and whatever. Right, no, not that. Carbon isotope. So, like, the same basic rules seem to apply everywhere. Which is, you know, plants will produce carbon, for example. That's what plants produce. They make carbon. But first things first, let's go over to this abandoned camp. Because the camp is always abandoned. And see what we can get here. Because we might be able to get some, like, new upgrades or whatever. I don't really like the tentacle mushrooms, by the way. I think I'm just going to destroy them because they freak me out a little bit. I'm slightly worried that they're just going to grab me. So, what is special about this world? Because it kind of looks to me like it's got, you know, pretty much very similar to the first world. There's, yeah, just kind of, it's a different looking rock, but it is still just a rock that produces iron. There's just these kind of big things here. I'm guessing that there is, yeah, iridium, big blue pillar. Ah, wait, I craft my own warp cells using, oh, what, hello, what the heck just happened? Oi, whoever you are, go away. Screw you, I have a bolt caster. There you are, you're dead and you've produced some iron for me. You know what, before I go back into my menu, I'm going to go hide on this island over here. I feel safer on this island. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted there, so I can produce my own warp cells. I need plenty of thamium, and I also need antimatter. But I can't craft antimatter right now, but with enough suspension fluid and plutonium, I can craft electron vapor, and electron vapor is used in the creation of antimatter, but I can't make antimatter myself. You see, this is what bothers me about, like, the randomly generated wildlife. Like, it doesn't seem to interact or have an ecosystem. Like, I just discovered, like, 3 things right next to each other, and all of them are just, like, bumbling around. Like, none of them seem to be scared of the other, and none of them seem to be hunting the other. They're just there. And that's kind of, you know, it makes the whole thing a bit pointless. Like, I'm not interested in any of these creatures because none of them seem to, like, do anything. The world isn't alive. Like, you can feel how randomly generated it is. Toxic protection is falling, and I have no cover nearby as far as I can tell. That's a shame. So, okay, let's just go and grab... Wasn't there one thing? Yeah, there's one thing over here. There's one thing that's marked as important. You're marked as power. We will get back to base very, very soon. Yes, I know, it's a milestone. It's very impressive or something. Yeah, that is just plutonium. So there's just, you know, some plutonium on this planet. Fine. And then what is this? This is just... Well, it's a different type of flower, but is it just Yeah, it's just platinum flowers. So, basically, like, everything on this planet that I've seen so far, though it looks a bit different, is basically identical. It's just, you know, destroy the plants for carbon, find the blue flowers, they have platinum in them, all of that sort of thing. I think I saw some zinc down here, which I could use to recharge my... Yeah, if I need to. I can use... Well, of course, my inventory's full. Then you've got the yellow flowers that contain zinc, and the rocks that contain iron, and you've got, obviously, plutonium here as well. This planet seems basically almost identical to the one I was already at. Like, it looks a little bit different, and, you know, it's generated some different aesthetics to it, but, like, that's very superficial. Like, what's actually here is exactly the same as what was on the first planet, which kind of means there was kind of no point me leaving the first planet, because, oh, there's some thabium, yep, which is in the exact same red thing. Toxic protection is offline. Apparently this planet is really toxic. Well, that's fine. I shall just recharge my hazard thing using this here zinc. Uh-oh. Oh, I've upset the sentinels. Go over to the bolt caster right now, and oh dear, I'm out of... Oh, this is bad. I'm kind of out of everything. Go, go, go. Just run. Just run. Right, we just need to get out of here in a hurry. The jetpack doesn't help, John. They can fly. Oh, they actually just lost me. That is incredible. I literally just turned away and ran, and that worked. Yeah. This is what I was saying about the Sentinels being a distraction rather than a threat. Okay, you know what? This planet's a bit of a bust. Let's actually go all the way to, like, a new system, because maybe, like, all the planets that are in, like, the same area or the same system or whatever have certain similarities, and I wouldn't rest to recharge right now. We're literally about to run out of toxic protection. Interestingly, the game is only letting me go one way for now, which is, like, towards over in this direction, along this path that's highlighted like a bit more in yellow, and I don't even know why. So I can't like go in that direction. I can only go over here, and I can't go more than one. So alright, sure, engage, warp, computer, navigate, hyperdrive, faster than light, do that thing. I'm literally about to warp into a planet. Oh, I'm in a new bit of space, and this bit of space is green. Hello, something else just conveniently arrived at this exact moment. And then space just grew some new rocks as well. So we've got Subsibchio. Yep, fine. And then we got over here a much bigger world of Nokini Bazima. You see, if that's undiscovered and I get to rename it, then who named it Nokini Bazima? Alright, because someone must have done that already. I feel like I'm really doing a bit of a fool's errand pretending that I've actually discovered any of this. I haven't. Someone set up a bloody spaceship on top of it already. Multiple spaceships, in fact. This bit of space is, if anything, just a little bit bloody crowded. Also, why is space green? I've always been very much of the opinion that space isn't green. Activate speed, and then activate also speed, and then activate speed again. And now we're speeding with speed. Beautiful. 1 second, and in we go, and probably pull up, and it's a green planet.
Alert. Navigational data received.
Okay, what's one of them? There is apparently an off-planet beacon. Okay. Well, before we go and visit this planet, which admittedly looks ugly as anything, let's go and visit the off-planet beacon. Sure, why not? How far is it to the off-planet beacon? I don't know, but I'm going to activate my things anyway. Oh, the beacon, as it turns out, actually wasn't even on the same planet I was on. The beacon was on the other little planet that was nearby. So that's annoying, because now I've had to waste some of my pulse engine fuel, but never mind. And you really have no choice but to waste your pulse engine fuel, because if I wasn't using my pulse engines right now, there we go, come out of pulse engine. So if I wasn't in pulse engine, it would just take 5 minutes of my life to get over there. Or if I was holding down B to speed up, oh no, I'm already speeding up. Yeah, 5 minutes of my life. I mean, call that what it is. That is just straight up a wait timer to force you to use a system that you have to go and mine to do. So basically, busy work being enforced by wait timers. Arrive at the beacon and probably land somewhere around here-ish. So I think I've accidentally discovered the kind of volcanic world I was talking about. Hello! This is an irradiated planet. Oh, well, that's not good. I get the feeling that's going to be very bad indeed. Now, where's the thing? Is it this thing? Hello? One waypoint beacon. Okay.
Alert. Navigational data received.
Right. And what is that navigational data? A thing. An outpost. Alright. That's interesting. Let's just do a quick scan round here. Just check kind of what's around. Because it feels like what's around is basically... yeah, obviously it's the zinc plants, and I'm going to need plenty of them, actually, because... and then obviously that's the platinum plant over there. So yeah, we've gone to a whole new system, and though things look a little different, basically everything's the same, which is going to be, are you actually... you don't do anything. You're the yellow zinc plants, you're obviously the blue platinum plants. You, I'm guessing, are going to be a life sign, and thus you produce a small amount of carbon when killed. Yep, so... now, I'm kind of hoping at the bare minimum that, like, some of this stuff might be... no, I was kind of hoping that might produce, you know, something radioactive, because it was a radioactive planet and it was glowing green, but no, that would be crazy. You see, if the game had been designed by a designer, that's probably exactly what would have happened. But that doesn't happen here, because it's all randomly generated. So even though I'm on a radioactive planet and this is glowy green stuff, it's just basic iron, because there's no human sense checking going on here. And the base I found is in fact pretty much literally identical to the very first base I found on my very first planet. Right down to an identical little module here, with the only advantage being presumably I can now give myself another upgrade. Yep, one more slot, but this time I need to buy it for 10,000 units. Now I will gladly pay 10,000 units for an extra slot. Lovely. Meanwhile, whatever your opinion before now, look, we haven't discovered this planet. Someone already came here and they put a flag in it, alright? I'm British. We understand how this works. When you get to a country and you put a flag in it, that's yours thereafter. Somebody else already put their flag in this. I haven't discovered it. I mean, I'll give you, this cave is somewhat strikingly beautiful and whatever. The problem is it just isn't really any different from the caves I found elsewhere that look different. Like, it's all for show. There's no substance here. Right, launch thrusters, go over here, go, speed up, head over to the outpost, which now we can do in 30 flipping seconds. Lovely. Whatever exactly an outpost is. The ship handles awfully, by the way. Like, sometimes, like, when you try and turn it just pitches instead, if you want it to go down, it really doesn't like being at low altitudes. It just doesn't let you. And, oh, I think we're landing right on top of them. I didn't even really mean to do that, but, oh. No, I did. The game just basically said, yeah, you're landing on the landing pad, alright? Just accept it and move on. Right. Switch gun to boltcaster and figure out what's going on here. Hello, are you the life sign? Why exactly did I even come here? Captain Vignetba. Hello, Captain Vignetba. Do I speak your language at all? A lone creature awaits me, diminutive, beaked, unthreatening. It regards me with passing curiosity, chatters briefly with a language I cannot comprehend, then passes me a slate. With a start, I realise I can understand the text on it. In disbelief, I try and catch the creature's eye. It has already turned away in disinterest. I suspect it is a mere courier, not the author of the message. The slate also contains blueprint for technology. Hyperdrive. I've already got a hyperdrive, but alright. Fuel hyperdrive, travel to space station. Well, I can't fuel my hyperdrive because literally the only way I can fuel the hyperdrive is with a warp cell. Now, I know I can craft a warp cell, but only if I've got, Yeah, I've got enough thamium-9, but I need antimatter, okay, to do that. And I don't have antimatter, because I know I can make something. Well, if I had suspension fluid, I could make the thing that I needed to potentially make antimatter, but I don't have that either. So I need suspension fluid or antimatter. Let's just try and make it to the space station. There's a space station bloody somewhere around here, alright? Look at the asteroids just literally growing out of nothing. That is abysmal. That is just... like, Star Fox 64 did a better asteroid field than this, alright? That's just embarrassing. Buy antimatter for 50,000. Blimey, this better not be a rip-off. And with that, I can make myself a warp cell, alright? There we are. So now I've got a warp cell. So now with my starship, I can recharge my thing with a warp cell. Love. That was charged 20%. Okay, a manufacturing facility. Okay, are you telling me that's where I'm supposed to go, game? Because I will, if that's what you want. And on this planet we have rocks we destroy for iron, and plutonium we destroy that's red, and yep. It's pretty much the same planet a fourth time. Oh, there's some lovely blue iridium over there. Look forward to a big pillar of iridium. Abandoned manufacturing facility. Install bolt caster. I've got one of them. That's fine. I'm not sure you're necessarily going to be happy with me using that, but alright. Yep, the Sentinels are indeed annoyed at me. Right, get the titanium off them and then just keep working on the door nice and quickly. Oh, bloody hell. Come on, reload, reload. Where are the Sentinels? Oi, stop it, you. Right, we're very low on health. Reload quickly. Destroy the door. This was just teaching me about guns and combat. Got it. Why the hell am I even breaking in here, by the way? A formula displayed how to make my own antimatter. How bloody convenient. How incredibly bloody convenient and scripted that having arrived in a new sector where I needed to find antimatter, the very first thing, literally the first thing that happened was I happened to receive an alert say, hey, there's just this abandoned facility. And then I flew there. And then behind one door, there was the equation for antimatter. That is the... How... That makes the game feel so small. How are they messing up this badly? Like, this is... They've made a big deal about how the universe is massive. Well, I just, you know, this area that's probably got thousands of square miles on a planet and millions of cubic miles in a system. And what have they decided to do? Oh, we'll just give you a waypoint and you'll go there and then you'll open a door and you'll have got the thing you need. They've actually created a world that feels smaller than Mass Effect when it's a million times bigger. So there it is, antimatter, electron vapor that I can actually make by myself, iridium and zinc. So iridium and zinc both incredibly common, and then electron vapor, which is a little bit harder to make, but I can just make by myself. Let's just double check, remind myself here. So that is just... suspension fluid and, well, plutonium's incredibly common. And then suspension fluid, I don't know how to make yet, but I'm guessing that that is relatively easy to come by. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We are done. We're done with No Man's Sky. And in the end, I've realised what this game is. This game is an early access game. That's exactly what it is. It's early access. And if I was playing this as a really early alpha, early access, say, yeah, this is a promising enough starting point right here. I can see where they're going. This will be good when they actually add in some content. Maybe if they fix a huge amount of stuff and they actually add in like a sensible mechanism for procedurally generating subquests, or like they add in a whole bunch of writing and stuff, that'd be fine. And I can't help but make the comparison to Stellaris, because Stellaris is not actually a big game. Technically, you're just a little ship going around a tiny little system, and then it's just systems connected by lines and warp drives. Stellaris, technically, in terms of like the amount of space you can explore, is tiny, but Stellaris feels huge and epic and wondrous. There's the sense of exploration and wonder there, and discovery and growth, and it's not here. None of that's here. Like, the moment I arrived in that system and was told, hey, do you want to go down to that signal we found? Oh, it happens to be the exact thing you're looking for. No. If they are going for sense of wonder and exploration and discovery, they could not have got it more wrong. with that moment right there. That moment there convinces me this game doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't know what it wants to be, and it doesn't know how to achieve it. It's not working. It's not working technically, or tonally, or gameplay-wise, or anything. None of it really gels together, and it's just a massive disappointment. So I don't think you'll be seeing this again on the channel, unless they make some really massive changes, and I hear from many people that it's much, much better than it used to be. I think we are done with No Man's Sky, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully we will have something a little bit better. Maybe I'll play Starbound or Rodina. I've heard much better things about both of them. Maybe I'll play some of them soon. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been the genuinely, massively disappointing No Man's Sky. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Get back here, you... Oi! Where'd you... Ah, flip! Speeders can't go too far off the ground. You, die, die. There you go, you get. Take out the tanks. I'm probably doing more damage to Mos Eisley than they are at the moment. Get out of the sky. Get out of my bloody sky, you get. Now we can blow him up, right? Yes, massive explosion.